Hi, America. I'm on my video segment marathon. It's 2 o'clock in the morning, and I've had a long day. I may not even get to sleep tonight. But let's get on to the next Republican candidate. I'm going to sort of break it up: Republican, Democrat, Republican, Democrat, just that order. Republican Party, uh, Dr. Ron Paul, notoriously known as Dr. No, because he votes on everything that is good for America and shoots down anything that's unconstitutional in its explicit writing. But I still can't support him. I like his constitutional stance, but I feel like he's a Zionist. And in America, I think we need to look away from these Zionists. He worked with a Zionist on a novel. I love his voting record. I love what he has to say about the country. I love what he has to say about money. I love what he has to say about everything. Uh, but there's some sidebars. See, I'm a libertarian, and I believe in liberty under that umbrella. And to me, let me give you my definition of liberty. Liberty is the ability to exercise yourself freely, but responsibly, without having broken the law, and not infringe on anyone else's liberty. To me, that's the true definition of liberty. So, whatever you're into, you can walk down the street screaming or hanging posters or doing something illegal, and there are still laws that stop you from doing that because it's just a saner world when the world follows the guidelines of don't infringe on others' liberties. So it's not really, in my opinion, rape. It's the infringement of liberties under the rape clause, the infringements of liberty under the murder clause. It reminds Americans that we are Americans. It reminds us that we are a free people until we impede someone else's ability to have their liberty. So those people have to be stopped and have their liberty revoked. Not their citizenship, but they'll do prison times as a result of it. Also, the one thing I don't like, and this is my strong one, is the no birthright for U.S. citizens born here. You know, there's got to be a slim sliver in between, because if children under his legislation are born here, they aren't guaranteed their liberty at birth. But by the same token, there still should be a certain amount of reflection as to the generational count or the status of the parent. There's a responsible middle ground as far as that, because I agree. He is very pro-corporation, and he should be pro-company. And company is when mom and pop own the local grocery, and pro-corporation is when corporations own America. In India, chain stores are not allowed. You may have one Walmart, one McDonald's, one Burger King, one anything, but you cannot have chain stores in India. I think it's fantastical. That's how families build companies that make something. You can make it as big as you want. You can make the supply for the entire nation, but you have to make it out of one location. Sets a spirit for competition, which is sort of a basic here in America. It's our spirit of competition. His pro-life choice, he considers it, and I've heard him say it, it's an act of violence. And I don't disagree. But my libertarian tells me that when she chooses to have an abortion, it's not my choice. It's hers. So under the guise of liberty, it's her choice. And when she chooses that, we need to just shut up and mind our own business. Because like I've said before, we may not like their choices, but we don't have to. It's their choices. Let them live with it. There's lots of great families out there that want to adopt. That aside, it's liberty. His voting record in Congress is stellar. It's just stellar. If I were a congressman, it'd be the way I'd be voting. You can guarantee it. There's no amount of corruption that's going to convince me to poison the air. There's no amount of money they're going to lobby me for that's going to convince me for illegal wiretapping. There's no amount of money they're going to convince me for to put cameras on every corner. There's no amount of money. There's no amount of money. It's criminal corruption for all the other candidates except for this one. I like Ron Paul, and I'll be there June 21st, this summer, in Washington, D.C. for the Constitutional Rally. I'll be there. And he'll be there. And I'll shake his hand because of his voting record, but I won't vote for him. I won't vote for him. I share his belief in world trade. I have so much just to admire about this guy. He sticks by his guns on all unconstitutional policy. I like everything about it except for the way he still wants to infringe liberty. And I know his reasoning, and every religious right person should absolutely listen to what he has to say about it. I don't like, you know, we need statesmen like Ron Paul. And moreover, we need unity as a people. And I think his real message is constitutionality, because even if he isn't elected president, he still managed to get out there and remind the core voters, not just Republican and not just Democrat, the core voters, that it's about the Constitution. This isn't an experiment. This is a nation, and we lived free for 120 years as a republic. A true republic, we would turn out to vote on every single issue, from water to pay raises for the government. We'll let Congress take care of the U.S. Treasury and money, silver, gold values, metals and issues. And he's right. I mean, this is what America needs to return to. I've known for a while what is at stake in this election and found a lot of plain old mistakes, for lack of better words. And this is a big one. If he were running for Senate, I'd vote for him. If I lived in Texas and he was running for Senate, I'd vote for him. How much time do I have left? Okay, let's talk about it real quick. The Farmers Aid Package, which he voted against in Texas. His local constituents, which are primarily farmers, were curious why he didn't vote for it. He said because it wasn't set, it wasn't certain. There was no way that he could get anything done. And as far as his earmarks, it's a huge barrel of money that they hand out to each state. And the only way he's going to vote for something is if he gets something for his segment of the nation. And who could blame him? I mean, the only thing he's lobbying for is money that's already been set aside, so he's making sure his people get it. But the farm lobby that passed this, the local farmers who weren't corporate farmers or didn't understand the law, got none of this money and still get none of this money to help the farm. And he was right. None of this money was specifically earmarked for small farmers. Corporations got it. Major corporations with teams of attorneys who knew how to read this crappy tax code and what forms to fill out got all the money. None of the local farmers, none of the you and me local people who run businesses or manage businesses would even know how to come about this money, and none of those people even qualified for it. So, I don't know what to tell you. He's right about a lot of things, but for a president, if he can just drop a couple of things, I know not everybody's perfect, but if Congress could lock him out on the vote or do something like that, I'd vote for him for president. So we'd need a Republican Congress and a Democratic Congress and a Republican presidency in order to keep the checks and balances. But I'd still say, Dr. Paul, Doctor, no. Everything else I said, I love everything else about him. Don't think I hate him. I just wouldn't vote for him. See you.